Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Let's introduce myself. My name is Chandra Giramdani. I am as moderator of this group. This group is consists by 3 members. It's me and Reza Tegar and Ulat. And the first material will be explained by my friend. Please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lan Yunita. My student's number is 202122047. Here I will explain about the concept of ideology and translation. First, what is ideology? Lepepri, quoted by Monday 2007, described ideology as the conceptual grid that consists of opinions and attitudes deemed acceptable ways in which things can be seen. And what is translation? Hatim and Mason, 1997, quoted by Monday 2007, defined translation as the act of communication between, especially dealing with two distinctive languages, including the range of different components such as culture, politics, history, and ideology. The concept of ideologies and translation. Mooney 2011 stated that ideology is the way to view and describe the world which comes into existence with the use of any particular language. Precisely, Pagani 2007 indicated that ideology is the way of thinking and describing the world order in a more natural way. The effect of ideology is mostly relevant to the production of a particular translated text. This is to say that the ideology may influence the interpretation and production of the meaning in translation in comparing with the source text. Therefore, the translated text is influenced by the target language of the translator, where the source text will be retextualized in accordance with the target text norms and convention. Republic 1992 has emphasized the three elements in terms of the relationship between translation and ideology. Number one, network of forms, convention, and beliefs are to determine the translator's decision when producing a text. Lepepri 1998 considered that it was the translator's ideology and the dominant target language poetics that were the determiners of the translated text. The ideology of a translation resides not simply in the text translated but in voicing and stance of the translator and in its relevance to receiving audience. These latter pictures are affected by the place of enunciation of the translator. Indeed, they are part of what we mean by the place of enunciation, for that place is an ideological positioning as well as the geographical and temporal one.
My name is Reza Tegar and my student's number is 2021220044. Second material is the Linguistic Toolkit of Critical Linguistics and Critical Discourse Analysis. Particularly relevant for close textual analysis of the translator's ideological mediation is work in the tradition of critical linguistics, initiated by Hodge and Kress in 1979 and Fowler et al. In 1979. The main aim of critical linguistics and later critical discourse analysis was to make clear the link between ideology and the language in which that ideology is expressed and reproduced in specific social situations. Although various traditions of critical discourse analysis have developed, some of the key linguistic elements that are investigated are now common currency and have been drawn predominantly from systemic functional linguistics. These links surface lexigrammatical features of a text to their predominant semantic function and the representation. The first one is domain-specific lexis and pattern of transitivity linked to the experiential representation of reality. The second is modality markers that show evaluation and other devices that express writer-reader relationship and are linked to the interpersonal function of language. And the last one is thematic and information structures, concerning the order and organization of elements in a sentence and pattern of cohesion, such as repetition or variety of semantic fields, substitution, ellipsis, and the others, which contribute to producing textual coherence. The third material is critical linguistics and translation studies. In translation studies, one of the most explicit statements about ideology from a critical linguistics and discourse analysis perspective appears in Hatim and Mason's The Translator as Communicator in 1997. Drawing a distinction between the ideology of translating and the translation of ideology, which has been reiterated in later collections, for example, Calzada Paris 2003, Hatim and Mason concentrate on the degree of mediation, that is, the extent to which translators enter the transfer process, feeding their own knowledge and beliefs into the processing of a text. Hatim and Mason remind us that a particular linguistic device can function differently according to context. For instance, the phenomenon of transitivity is related to ideational function in systemic function terms and is central to the close description and to the classification of the world of experience. According to its process type, it is means of representing a reality from a particular perspective, and often when appropriate, the actor can be concealed or downplayed through the use of a passive, a normalization. Thank you.
We can see on the text there are the highlighted stylistic choices, so that on 3 occasions, example 1a includes the possessive pronoun my with a nominalized process, like my visit, my participation, and my visit. And on 1 occasion, I attended. Even for grounds, castros involve feminine with a person pronoun and a finite material process. On the other hand, the end of example 1a then uses a passive my health point was put under extreme stress. For the Spanish pronominal, the sometera subjected itself to suggesting the external pressures have caused this illness, like ET, rather than its being the result of any chronic weakness from within or possibly a willful act by Castro's body, ST. One might claim that there is a hierarchy of transitivity choices here, was put under extreme stress, representing a more sensitive moment than the others, where the translator may have been more intuitively aware of the effect of the transitivity choice. However, the overall pattern here is one of making Castro in the TT more active than in the ST. And this extract confirms that the choice of transitivity structure in translation may not only be considerably different, but may actually run counter to the message conveyed by the source. Surprisingly, This Cuban translation, which is subject to state control, in fact uncovers what had been carefully concealed in the ST. We can conclude that translation as the act of communication between specifically dealing with two distinctive language, including a range of different components such as culture, politics, history, and ideology. An ideology is a way to view and describe the world which comes into existence with the use of any particular language. So, translation ideology is a communication between specifically dealing with two distinctive languages by paying attention to the particular language. Thank you very much. Maybe enough from us. Thank you for watching the video and stay healthy. Goodbye. And this is for the reference.